Hey guys, welcome to my new series. This is going to be all about me redesigning my own house. We're going to call it the Flower House. I live on a road called Flower. And so this is welcome to planning to redo the Flower House. That's Audie. He lives here too. I wanted to start a new video series on here where I talk a little bit about my project that I'm doing at my own house right now. So I thought maybe sort of like from beginning to end, I can show you some of the high-level highlights of what the process looks like when you're trying to do a major renovation to your house. And by that I mean more than just redoing a kitchen within the existing floor space. I mean changing something like adding an addition, adding a roof, and the sort of steps that you would take. So let's just jump into it. First things first, you need to start with a concept, an idea. You need to formulate what that looks like in your own mind, in your own plan. And that's gonna just depend on like your personal style for planning, whether that's making a Pinterest board or just sketching notes or looking up things online, or when you see an image of something you like, saving that file. So I'm gonna stick a few of them right here from my own vision. And what I really wanted to do was work on my existing house, which looks like, and I wanted to change that to have still keep the 50s that my house is, but take 50s to a new modern place, update it a whole level, and make it more architecturally interesting. I feel like when they put the white on this house, they put it in a place to highlight everything you wouldn't choose to highlight. And it just needs a facelift. So I want to take it to a like mid-century modern, but meets industrial, 50s but fresh. This is Audie. And show you some of my inspiration. So this was actually put together by my architect for me. This is 3rd Street Architecture. Sarah is fantastic. And I'm gonna show you some of the images here that I picked, and I'm gonna try not to really show too much of Sarah's work because this is something that I paid for from her. So I don't want to put her work all over the internet. But basically, I'm just going to show you like this front page is like, you need to start with some exterior inspiration. And so when I came to Sarah and said, this is what I want to design and build, I had images and said, this is it. I want more angled roofs. I want dramatic changes. I want bigger windows, and I want the whole house to be black. Black brick, black roof, black windows, everything to be black. And then I want to add in details through texture and some metal and wood finishes to kind of bring that industrial element. So hopefully editing me has put up a variety of different images while I've been talking. And so you've seen this is the kind of thing I'm trying to do. So then when I hired Sarah, the first thing we start with is basically she has someone come out and draw the existing plan to scale so that she has something to work from. Then we start talking about inspiration, design ideas, that sort of thing. And you have to look at, I'll probably just bring up this kitchen one. So because the kitchen's gonna be part of my project, we talked about sort of aesthetics for kitchens. Things that I would want to do in which has light cabinets, the ceiling heights that I wanted to change, the window styles that I wanted to change. And so I also sent some of my thoughts, and then she put together some of her images. So that leads her to creating some rough ideas. And again, like I don't want to show too many ideas because these are hers, but just basically you start to get your house recreated into a new image. What does it look like in a 3D picture? So she's taking the existing structure, making a modification, and then showing me a few different options. So she gave me 3 different options for the exterior. What was that? Because I'm changing the roof line on this house. What were those new roof lines going to look like? And being able to see it from different angles on the house. And that helped me pick what I wanted to do. And then, you know, we're able to kind of get to, well, I'll show this one because this is upstairs. So then you get the version of your layout that you have existing. So this is my existing house. And then what changes we're gonna make. So in my house, adding an addition, taking down some walls, moving some things in the kitchen, adding an island that's not there. All of those sorts of changes you start to see on plans. Once you have finalized that and you know sort of what you want, you can get a big old fatty like this of plans. And these plans are, well, this is my rough draft. And the plans basically go through everything: demolition, framing, mechanical, what's changing in the house. And this is so that your builders know what to build. It's so that the county knows what you're trying to do when you're pulling permits. So basically what you'll do is you'll put together a rough draft of what all of that looks like. You can use this to go to contractors to get bids. You can also use this to, I did a rough look through everything to see, do I want to change anything? And I really looked at it. Do I want the windows where the windows are? Do I want the heating returns where they are? You know, really looking at a high level about what changes I want to make. This should be pretty final by the time that you're making the final set of this and you're going to the county for money. This should be what you want to do. Anytime after that you want to make changes to this, you're talking real money, because that's change orders. That's not what you had said you were going to do. And if it's a massive change, you really want to have thought about it at this stage. So this planning stage will take you several weeks to several months, depending on how long you take to make choices and decisions, and also the timeline of the people you're working with. So this planning stage is sort of step 1. And I think that's where I'm going to leave this video, is find the architect that you want to work with. And obviously, if you're in the DC metro area, I highly recommend 3rd Street Architecture, who I'm using for this project. And find someone who gets your vision, who understands what you're trying to do, and whose design aesthetic is close enough to yours that they can make it happen. You don't want to work with someone who's very minimalist if you like very traditional, ornate or something. That's the complete opposite. I mean, I'm sure that they're talented enough to do both, but ask them, is this the kind of project you want to work on? Because you want someone to get excited about working with you on your project. And then make sure that by the time that you're going to an architect, you know what you want. You've thought about it. You may not know how to go from here to the finish line, but you know what your design idea is. You know what you're trying to accomplish, and you know what style you're looking at. So that would be where I'm gonna leave this video. In the next video, I'm gonna talk a little bit about basically what happens with once you start finalizing your plans and you're going to go to bid, sort of some of what that process was like for me. As of this stage, this was all, I would say, fairly easy for me. I have a very clear design aesthetic that I like. It's very easy to reproduce. So I was able to very easily send some images to Sarah. The stuff that she sent me back was really good. I really didn't have a lot of changes. And so it was very quick to move through those steps. And then, the slow part is going to start coming in now that we're at the get a loan stage, hire a contractor, that sort of stage. This stage that we're going into next is a lot more sort of time sensitive for me. For so far, most of the work has been the architect, on making plans and ideas. But given that we sort of had a very clear vision about what we wanted to do. That's been very seamless. So I'm sure that the hiccups are going to start coming when we start talking to the county and we start talking to contractors and we start looking for supplies and materials, especially, in 2021 where the supply chain has been so heavily impacted and it's taking a really long time to get materials. And again, just sort of since this is the planning video, that's one of the reasons why you really want to start planning ahead. Give yourself a lot of time, because if budget is very important to you, then you need to be able to wait for materials to come in that you want, and you need to be able to be flexible so that you can, if something else isn't coming in, you can switch to something else, because rushing materials or having to pay extra for materials can really blow your budget quickly. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.